Well, this is a very, very interesting question. Already, I've gone from like 10 to 15 to like 20 mechs. I was asked, so in turn, I was going to ask you guys, fellow Battletech enthusiasts, favorite mechs. What kind of mechs get you excited to play? What kind of mechs on the tabletop? If I'm like, look, build 4 lances. Forget about battle value for now. We'll build 4 lances. What are you looking at? What excites you from that perspective? So with that question, I think this goes into player personality and play style in Battletech, because there are many, many ways to play Battletech. And that's one of the things that I appreciate about the narrative and the universe of Battletech. You could do mechs versus mechs. That's, of course, most games, because that's the lore. That's the narrative. But you can throw in tanks. You can throw in vehicles. For a while, I was playing Battletech multiple battles where it was just conventional infantry and tanks. I didn't have any mechs in the game. And that was hard because, like, I want mechs, I want tanks, I want air support, I want infantry, like I want artillery, I want it all. But I was spending all my battle value and saying, hey, let's kick around in the Battletech universe if I had a mercenary company that was all conventional forces. And it did pretty well. Won a lot of battles against it. I mean, I lost a lot of stuff, but you know what? Most of it didn't have a fusion engine, and the dead cost nothing. I saved a lot of money because I didn't have to pay a lot of mercenaries after every battle. So from that perspective, it did pretty well. But I appreciate that narrative of Battletech where we have units, we have different things that are really, really drawing us to the game and favorites. So, okay, I have to pick mechs that I like, all of them. I have to narrow it down to one mech. And in fairness, we're going to pull away from weight classes, light, medium, heavy, and assault. I'm going to pick one mech. If it was that one mech to inherit, it would be the longbow. Primitive-looking longbow. The re-imaged longbows, they're kind of sleek. The legs look a little slim, from my opinion. I mean, I do have 2 of them, but I prefer like kind of the old missile bay, missile pod longbows. I love the longbow. That would have to be my number 1 favorite mech, because all of those long-range missiles, the ability to fire them all and rain down the pain indirectly with a spotter, to be able to get into a great position. I love getting into a great position and just firing away and blasting stuff at a distance. Maybe that's also why I have an obsession with artillery, but we're not going to pull that into the equation in the moment. Now, Fritz, what happened to the autocannon 20s, brother? I've been listening to your vlogs. I've been building up my Battletech Tactica playlist here, and you love autocannon 20s. I do, but you asked me to narrow it down to one. And the really number 1 is big guns never tire. You can have your fancy plans, your tactics, your outflank, your refused flank, all that stuff. We just start putting down massive firepower and raining the pain. Everyone's got a plan until they start taking those hits. So I could easily say under the big guns category, the longbow with the 2 LRMs and the 2 5-packs, that brings that. Now, if you let me include a couple of other mechs, you're going to find really fast they're going to be autocannon 20s. They're going to be dual PPCs, Marauders, Warhammers, things like that. But focusing it to one, the longbow just captures my imagination. All of those missiles firing out and playing it from that perspective. Can I give a sub-mech? Can I go for a second choice, but it's also in the first choice? And the reason why it didn't hit as my first choice is because it's very much dependent on the narrative. You guys will give me that, then I'll turn it over in the comments for you. Playing a longbow, yes. There are times based on the tech level where I will play an archer, dropping down to the downgraded variant with the rocket launchers. With the rocket launchers on them. Packing both of those, firing off just like crazy. Tons and tons and tons of rockets. But they're unguided, very primitive rockets. Lots of heat, minimal range. But really just quite a sight to put down those. But that's very situational. My first choice would be the longbow. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Your favorite mech. One mech. One strategy. You're part of a lance. You've inherited a mech. Whatever that's going to be, you've got to narrow it down to one. What would that mech be?